Welcome to Speakers Are Leaders podcast with Harry Sardinas and Lily Patrascu. Discover how to become a charismatic speaker and leader so you can attract ideal clients and business collaborations. If you'd like to overcome stage fright and become a confident speaker, I know a thing or two about that because for many years, I used to be so terrified of public speaking that it was hard even to put my hand up in a seminar where the teacher or the course leader would ask a question. And it's been a really tough journey to go around my massive fear of public speaking to now speaking in front of thousands of people. And not only in person, but also online. And what I've discovered is that it's so easy to overcome your stage fright if you start. So the very first thing you need to do is to prepare, because you're going to be incredibly afraid when you haven't prepared. And the reason why you're going to be incredibly afraid is because you're going to be worried about what other people may think. So when you're worried about what people may think, you are going to be terrified. You're going to find that when you go to the stage, you're going to run out of air and you may even forget your own name, as it has happened to me multiple times.
So what's the reason? The reason for that is only one, because you think, oh, I'm the only person in the world that is afraid of public speaking. But let's face it, every single human being is afraid of public speaking, and the reason is very simple. Because when you're a kid, yeah, and you went out to speak with a stranger, what your mom and dad told you, hey, don't talk to strangers. Don't talk to strangers. So since you're a little boy or little girl, very deep in your unconscious mind is already have built from the people that you love that is bad to speak with the strangers, that this is something that is not good and you shouldn't do that. And then there you go to the stage, and now you are speaking not only with one stranger, you're speaking in front of 100 strangers, 1,000 strangers. So that fear amplifies, and that's why every single human being is afraid of public speaking. However, sharing what Lily just shared with you, when you start to understand what that fear is coming from and you prepare, then a new possibility can open it for you. Because the truth is that every single one of you can become a speaker. Number one, like Lily said, share, prepare. Number two, breathe. Because in the end of the day, if you are have in this state of fear, you cannot be in a state of confidence. They don't go together. So how you change your state? You move, you jump, you emotion comes from motions. So you have to change your state. You have to change the way that you move your body before you go to the stage. You need to do this exercise, 1, 2, 3 punch. That's also very effective behind the stage, because by moving, by doing empowerment exercises, by jumping, you are changing your state before you start to face what we call it the biggest fear. Because let me tell you something: if you're in a state of power, if you're in a state of confidence, if you're in a state of I can do this, there is no way the fear can get into the way. And I've seen this in really amazing transformation since she started to her career as a public speaker from the beginning, when now she's so powerful, so eloquent, and so confident in front of large audiences that I never thought that that was possible. So, Lily, what was the biggest breakthrough that you have before and after you overcome the fear of public speaking?
My biggest breakthrough actually came from learning how to speak. And what I noticed was that initially I used to practice in order to speak for even 1 minute or 5 minutes. I used to practice perhaps 300 times. And I do think that was valuable, okay, and very important. But what I think as a precursor to that, what needs to happen before that, is you need to be in a very calm state of mind. Now, when you're thinking about speaking in front of people, you're not going to be very calm, at least not to start. So you need to make yourself calm. And these are some things that I have done in order to calm myself and in order to bring myself to a really great state of mind. So one thing that I do regularly is that I dance on very dynamic music. And what's important is to listen to dynamic music that is creating an empowering context for you. For example, Simply the Best by Tina Turner, okay? Because you're listening to that and then you're feeling like you are simply the best. And as you are going to be going to the stage, you are simply the best, and therefore your performance will be simply the best. And it's like those words start to kind of be all around you, okay? You start to feel that you are simply the best. And there's no way that someone who is simply the best is going to fail at anything, including public speaking, okay? The other thing I would do is the night before you speak, I wouldn't do something crazy like not go to bed until 4 a.m. worrying about your speaking, okay? What you should try to do is to prepare way in advance and then the day before do something relaxing. And I'll tell you, I never do this, but I do know that it would be beneficial if you did manage to do that because you would be a lot more relaxed.
And more present.
Yeah, when you are relaxed, it's so much easier for you to deliver a great performance, okay? And what I would do as well, if you have the opportunity, is to do perhaps like a massage and to go for a walk and to do something that is like relaxes you in a very comforting way. Like, for example, if you were to go to the park and hopefully the weather was good, then you would feel so much better. And when you feel really good and you are prepared in advance, having rehearsed that particular thing that you're going to say, then you're going to deliver a much better speech than if you hadn't. Okay. The other thing is that you need to prepare yourself mentally as well with empowering affirmations. Because if you're going to think that you're not a great speaker, you're going to tell yourself that. What you'll find is that you are creating that. Okay. You are creating that in the universe for yourself. So you need to start repeating. Yes, you rehearse your speech, but at the same time, you need to be preparing yourself mentally with empowering things that are going to be preparing you to deliver a great speech. So for example, you would say something like, I am a magnificent speaker. Now, of course, the affirmations without you practicing the actual speech are not going to help you as much as if you do actually prepare. Now, let's say if you have a speech that needs to be said in a certain way and it needs to be said for 5 minutes or 20 minutes. And I would say a lot of times, if not most of the time, the speeches do have a time limit. Okay. Now, if you have to prepare, let's say a TED Talk, then you might need to rehearse it almost to know it by heart. But for most speeches, you don't have to know them by heart. You have to know only the main ideas, the main points, and you just have to have an awareness of time. Okay, so you need to have some helpers in the audience. So for example, you might need to have like someone with an iPad, or in certain venues, they have like a big clock where you can look to see how much time you have. That is very important because you have to have not only an awareness of time, but also, like when you're speaking, you have to be aware of not only
that you finish on time,
but other people's time as well. Because if you're
absolutely
speaking too fast or too long, you're going to be impacting other people. And also you don't want to be afraid of that. And I find that the thing that scares me the most when I speak is kind of going over time and speaking too little as well. So when you don't know, when you haven't rehearsed, the likelihood is that you will be either speaking too much or speaking too little. And when you speak too much or too little, then you have this fear that accumulates in your mind, worrying about what may have happened.
It's a skill. The more you practice, the better you become, because you need to look at the time and be able to recognize, okay, this is my time. I need to speed up my speech. I need to cover the main points because I only have few minutes left. And what it cannot happen, number one, don't do is what Lily shared with us. Don't prepare and rehearse your speech the day before. This is a no way. You do have to prepare way in advance, and the day before you go to a massage and you go and relax. And then the second one is like this: learn and develop the skill to be able to speed up or slow down depending on timing, because you when you're speaking, you don't want to be over time, you don't want to be short of time, you need to finish on time. And for that, you have to think like it's a TV space. You have to be able to start and finish in the time that was allocated to you.
Follow us for more charismatic speaker and leader tips.